and now we have Marckiemoo versus Raydish. We're getting into game one. You know the matchup. It's Red Raptor, it's Mordex, and we're starting off on the Fortress of Lions right away. Everybody grabs a weapon very quickly in this game. Nobody's weapon starved whatsoever so far. Nice landing sider, the down air just barely missing. Marckiemoo giving him some space. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a feeling out period for Marckiemoo on the pace that Raydish is going to bring to this game.
Yeah, that is the big question mark here. Both of them are familiar and comfortable with the slower pace game, but at the same time, Marckiemoo wants that high energy. He wants that high octane gameplay if he can force it onto a player like Raydish.
There's the neutral light, instantly punished. Again, Marckiemoo giving him plenty of space, so if Raydish wants to throw those out, Marckiemoo's going to be far enough away where he doesn't get hit by the weapon, but he's close enough to dash back in. Bird comes out, that's going to be a miss right there. No breadcrumbs for him on this one.
Even so, Marckiemoo not really able to get a big punish on it. That's kind of the unfortunate side of a weapon like Scythe and Gauntlets is you're usually looking for a read after it, so you're only getting one soft hit.
The consistent buildup of damage already coming out from Raydish. He has Marckiemoo in the red, a sidelight side air from center stage, not going to be enough. He was hoping he picked that up on the edge. The attempt at moving out there, but then he backs up over into that center stage. Really doesn't edge guard too much unless it's really guaranteed, because he can just get those simple KOs that he can rely on. Reliability is the name of the game for Raydish.
And he's playing it so smart and so safe. He is playing the odds. He's just playing the main stage. You don't see him go off stage too often. Instead, it's really Marckiemoo who's been trying to push things around all sorts of parts of the map.
And I've been loving the unarmed gameplay we've seen from Marckiemoo this weekend. It seems like he really has developed that quite a bit more, so he doesn't have to rely on his weapons quite as much because of exactly moments like that. And it's not even just like the dash in down heavy, like that's like one of the classic KO options. But Flambeau and I really noticed, especially in Marckiemoo versus Kinda yesterday, he was relying on that unarmed as well. So it makes it feel like this legend has 3 weapons, not like 2.5.
Yeah, it does help flesh out the character because obviously there's going to be some spots where maybe 1 weapon or 2 weapons aren't that comfortable. Right now, though, Marckiemoo has to figure out how he's going to get back on the stage. Actually, Raydish backs away. Lets Marckiemoo get his feet on the ground.
Nice little high dare over the corner there. Not like in that Zeus throw range, but just high enough in case Marky came right over the corner, but not really threatening on the corner. Hopefully that illusion of safety would lead Marky over the corner. The juggle game potentially coming through side air, misses. Just some dashing on the ground, great spot dodge into the end light. Nothing right after that though, no major read. Neutral air, he's not able to find a neutral air after that, or even the side air. There's the side light, turning around the neutral air. Raydish really just seems like he's mostly controlling the middle of the stage. He still has a little bit of a lead, not as big as it was on the first stock.
Yeah, it's still a little bit of feeling out here, as of course this is just game number 1. You're seeing Marckiemoo generally go for a safe read, but it's going to be Raydish with the easy combo. Side light, side air gives him that stock advantage.
Now he's swapping back over to the boots here. It seemed like there was a moment where he could have thrown his orb and then picked up the boots, but I think he wanted to have that orb so he could guarantee that KO onto Marckiemoo, and now he's going to grab the boots so he gets... Okay, there's the recovery for this exact moment right here. Next time he spawns back in, his next weapon is going to be the orb, and I think that's what he wanted to guarantee, which is why he picked up the boots.
Interesting, on Marckiemoo's side, he's opting to stick with the gauntlets. Generally in this position, he wants that side, he wants that quick damage, especially against someone who's going to be coming in unarmed, but maybe he just respects Raydish's orb that much that he wants to go to the gauntlets already.
We've definitely seen Marckiemoo this weekend going back and forth between focusing on the 2 weapons. He's had his Scythe games, he's had his Gauntlet games, and he's had games that involved a lot of unarmed as well. So it doesn't seem like he's coming in with a one-track mind or anything like that, even though most of people's Marckiemoo memories come from the Scythe.
Right now might be wanting a Scythe as he's trying to get back over the corner, comes up, gets that neutral air. Dodge still available for Raydish, but he's getting caught up by Marckiemoo.
A little bit of unanswered damage coming out, and again, a neutral air. He's playing a lot of the vertical game here. These neutral airs into the recovery, still going in with the neutral airs, still going in with the neutral airs, whiffs the sig, but the turnaround in light. Okay, another recovery, there's the disarm. Weapon spawn comes in, Raydish grabs it, it's on the boots. Side air's gonna chase.
Puts Marckiemoo off stage. He does manage to get the wall touch. Raydish not able to fall with that side air.
There's gonna be game 1, that recovery to finish things off the top. Man, it felt like that game was really, really tense between these two. It was obviously very close by the time all things were said and done. It was a little bit over 4 minutes, so not a short game, not a long game, kind of right in the middle, but the tension there. I think we even saw Marckiemoo kind of breathe a sigh of relief after that was over, because this is just basically the icebreaker. And once you've broken that ice, it definitely feels good to be up 1 game.
Yeah, I mean, they know how much is on the line. This is the winner's side, winner's final. Whoever wins this goes into the grand finals top side. That's such a valuable position to be in. When you look at the statistics across multiple esports, the person who goes in the top side, winner's side of grand finals generally is the one who goes home with the victory.
Brawl.
We're going back into game 2 now. Same map. It didn't really feel like anything super unique to this map came into play. Like, everybody kind of uses that soft platform. I think Raydish focuses on it a little bit more, as you just saw him doing there. But he also likes to control that center stage as well, giving Marckiemoo plenty of room to retreat back onto that soft platform. So I don't think anything here is super stage specific, leading anybody to move off of the stage until something happens.
Yeah, generally this is just kind of that middle ground map where you've got a little bit of everything for everybody. Right now, though, Marckiemoo looking for that offstage. Couldn't get that second side air, and Raydish not able to hit him with the backswing on that neutral air.
Yeah, Marckiemoo was just a little bit too far away for that inlight to make contact. If he happened to be the other way, but again, that's a coin flip. You got to guess one way or the other, heads or tails. That time he picked tails. It came up heads. Marckiemoo hoping. Ooh. There's the side light and the side air to finish things off. No immediate recovery afterwards, especially when you're over there that close to the right blast zone. You're going to go for that side air. You're going to delay it a bit in case there's a dodge that could come out from Raydish. That delay gave Marckiemoo plenty of time to grab that side air, grab the KO, side light into the recovery. Another recovery comes out just barely missing. They're both whiffing each other, but the recovery with the movement from Raydish that gets him out away from Marckiemoo, so he can't punish. A lot of unanswered hits here. Finally, there comes the neutral air from Marckiemoo. The recovery comes through to get the wall touch.
Ooh, Marckiemoo still keeping Raydish in the open air. Still has the opportunity. He gets the wall touch, but Marckiemoo already gets to a different set of gauntlets. Doesn't go for a neutral air, instead swings with a recovery.
Man, that was such a great weapon toss, but there wasn't a lot of damage on Raydish, so it didn't really send him too far or anything. Not going to be those like huge major bombs that we saw Marckiemoo dropping earlier, where he goes all the way up, throws that weapon, and then confirms the edge guard off of it. Nice two-piece, the GC sidelight into the neutral air.
Yeah, he was looking for that extension, recognized Marckiemoo not too damaged to go straight for the sidelight side air, so he wanted that extra hit of the neutral air, but he couldn't get that follow-up for the KO.
Babysitting him back to stage in case Marckiemoo recovers high. He's not going to chase off of this one, uses the stronger one. There's that really high weapon toss again that we saw earlier. There was a great dodge from Marckiemoo. He's unarmed, moves all the way to the left side of the stage, far away. The double spot dodge right on top of each other. The tension in this game, you could cut it with a knife.
Looking for those down airs, not able to connect. Marckiemoo comes up, down light, recovery. This is a bad spot for Raydish as he's down to his final stock. Marckiemoo up with 3.
Marckiemoo has choice of weapons. He's going to do the delay throw up. That might have messed him up there just a little bit. No KO immediately coming out for Raydish. He's setting up for the potential edge guard. There's the weapon toss, goes back, grabs the orb. A simple sidelight side air. No, he really focusing on the weapon-starving game here. Another weapon toss. I think he wanted that to miss so he could pick up the weapon right away rather than re-grabbing the boots.
Still, he's not really finding any hits. He's doing a great job starving weapons from Marckiemoo, but it looks like Marckiemoo totally fine with that starvation. Now, Raydish has his opportunity to delay the next weapon spawn. Marckiemoo coming in with a fresh stock.
Yeah, I think the Marckiemoo movement was just a little bit too tricky for Raydish to set up the classic sidelight side air punish on the landing that we're used to seeing.
Starting to look for some juggles here. Just able to hit with the down air, neutral air. That was a dodge, but he's not able to get the recovery afterwards.
It is wild that Marckiemoo's almost a full stock up, but it really doesn't feel like the vibes of the match do not feel like Marckiemoo is 1 stock up. And he's not even playing like he's 1 stock up. Great neutral air, goes for the GCD light.
Still gets the wall touch. Marckiemoo comes back up safely. He's got the stage control.
Retreating back all the way over to the left side. All of the movement from that recovery. He covered like 40% of the stage.
Yeah, almost felt like a 2v2 situation where he's just trying to survive, trying to get away as far as possible.
That was a solid inlight. I don't think he could go for the side light there. I think Marckiemoo was a little bit too stacked, probably low enough after that spot dodge. Man, this is getting really scary. I don't think he can take another recovery.
Yeah, that exhausted recovery almost did it. They were so high in the sky. Raydish is going to start looking for that down air, but instead gets a down light.
D-light? I think he maybe thought he was in the air. I don't know where the D-light would have hit. And Marckiemoo, he's continuing this momentum, nodding his head, knowing he's got it.
You know, his boys are supporting him. They're the guys who, if you ever see Marckiemoo in the audience, he's sitting alongside his boys, cheering him on. And now Marckiemoo 1 game away from going into the grand finals.
Yeah, there's some of that unarmed gameplay that we've seen so far. He does get punished, caught in the air with a side air. What a great weapon toss. GC sidelight the other direction and the recovery. Great KOs, no massive gauntlet strings really coming out whatsoever, but still, it's those 2 pieces, those occasional 3 pieces, just one after the other. And Raydish, all of the gameplay that we know Raydish for, playing like the scientist in the past where he just sticks to that ground, waits to punish that landing, the sidelight side air comes through, reset, we're going back to neutral, sidelight side air comes through, all of that. Raydish just isn't able to lock those in, he's not able to find those landing punishes whatsoever. He's having to play differently against Marckiemoo, and it seems like he's just not confident confident in that whatsoever.
Yeah, Marckiemoo has been doing a really good job of getting in on top of Raydish. Generally, Raydish likes to utilize specifically orb down air as his spacing tool, and has just not been able to do that against Marckiemoo. Now here we are, game number 3.
Starting this one off with Scythe instantly. He hits the unarmed neutral air, the weapon pickup, and the neutral air on the Scythe. Throws the Scythe away. He's back over to the gauntlets. Now we're seeing those gauntlet strings come in. Marckiemoo got to be feeling really good the way he's moving right now. We're only 13 seconds into this game.
Raydish thanking his lucky stars that Marckiemoo is playing Mordex, a character that doesn't really have a lot of signatures that can send upward in that position.
There's the neutral air again, staying glued to the ground. Raydish has that soft platform to go to. Marckiemoo doesn't mind it whatsoever. He's not really going to chase him up. There's the recovery, touching on that soft platform just to reset his jumps. Smart move by Marky.
Ooh, okay. Nice follow-up there on Raydish's side.
Oh,
gets
great
the down
bounce.
air bounce. Goes for the down sig. Marckiemoo, while sweating, turns it around. Raydish, he's got an air, but he doesn't throw it out. Marckiemoo with the down air.
This is
stock
looking
advantage.
so scary for Raydish. He's already down 0-2. A full stock up for Marckiemoo at this point. There's the weapon spawn. He's not going to strip the field. Okay, there's a nice two-piece from Raydish. He's actually going to extend the edge guard here. No, he's going to back up once Marckiemoo gets close.
Yeah, was waiting to see if Marckiemoo makes something a little bit more committal. Likely would have gone down for that ground pound, but Marckiemoo played it safe, played it smart.
Man, again, these weapon toss openings just to break up the defense of Raydish, break up that timing if he's not ready. Side air, no chase. Weapon toss goes high. Raydish grabs the orb. Man, again, a stacked side air.
I mean, that was also just a really good dash landing on Marckiemoo's part as he goes for multiple side airs. Ground pounds onto the stage, so Raydish going to survive.
Jumping side air, missing. Great punish from Marckiemoo with the neutral air. There's the side air from Raydish. Marckiemoo does get sent off screen.
Ooh.
Oh!
Little awkward dare there. Marckiemoo can't get the touch.
Wow! He got the nair and he gets the stock off of that too? Oh no, Raydish!
An overcommitment on Raydish's side. Marckiemoo was sweating, and he didn't get the wall touch, but Raydish still wanted that final hit, and unfortunately, that gives Marckiemoo the trade out.
And that's so tough for Raydish because he's so far behind, he needs the big plays. The one time he even attempts the edge guard, not only does he not get it, it's not successful, but it turns into a failure because he also loses his stock in the process, and now the lead's even bigger for Marckiemoo.
Basically a full stock advantage to Marckiemoo, and Raydish stuck on his
Bounce pass,
uncomfortable weapon.
Sidelight recovery just barely missing. Raydish looking for some neutral airs, but Marckiemoo's just too far away from him. It feels like Raydish is fishing, hoping Marckiemoo's going to fall into moves rather than using moves that will hit or chasing after Marky. He was staying on top of Marky there, but still, Marckiemoo seems so confident. There's the down air. Doesn't get the neutral air follow-up off of that. Too much damage on a Raydish. Ooh, retie. This is going to be bad, and that's it right there with a 2-stock, a 3-0 from Marckiemoo. Wow, their set count between the two is 5-6 in favor of Raydish. All of a sudden, 6-6.
Marckiemoo just a little too clean on it. Raydish, at the end of it, he had to go for those big options. He had to go for something risky, but every single time he did, Marckiemoo took full advantage of it, and you can see the crowd popping for Marckiemoo.
We've definitely seen Marckiemoo in some tough,